We in here. What's up, people? Gerald here with you, doing a quick live stream. I always intend for these to be pretty quick and they end up going a little bit longer. Depending on how many people join, I will get to your comments. Just drop them over in the chat because part of tonight's live stream is just an AMA. Ask me anything. But really, the main reason I wanted to do this tonight is to talk a little bit about an event that's coming up called Livestream for the Cure. For those of you that don't know, it is a cancer research, basically fundraiser, kind of like a telethon, where podcasters and content creators get together for 3 days of live streaming various content. It's put on by my buddy Nick, who runs Nikolai's Kitchen, formerly of the Epic Film Guys. He is a beast, one of the best in the podcast world, and he puts it on every year, does an amazing job. Me and my buddy Dan, who is a podcaster from Netflix and Swill, join him live on location in New York and help him put on the event. But it's 99% Nick. He is the man. Brad, what's up, dude? I see you there. Quick live stream tonight. We're going to talk about a couple things. Nick's stream is better. Is he still streaming? I can't believe he's still streaming. He told me he'd be done by 10. But you're not wrong. I'm having a local lime lager from Gizmo Brewery here in Raleigh, North Carolina. I take a sip of that bad boy real quick. But I'm off work tomorrow. Want to come out here and talk about a few things. I want to give a update too for the main show for the podcast. So Dan, who's my producer really of the show and edits a lot of the episodes for me, has been doing a phenomenal job. But I was kind of weird because this week's episode was with Emily Higgins, and we talked about our favorite movie soundtracks of all time. So I said to myself as I'm listening back that I have to put in music clips on the episode. Dan did the regular kind of baseline editing for me, got it over to me, and I haven't put in the music clips. So that episode's not going to be out this week. And then next week, I was like, well, I was going to take the week off anyway because I really want to focus on live stream for the Cure. I'm traveling to New York. Like, it's just going to be kind of crazy. I got to work basically nonstop until I leave. So I said, all right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to wait until after live stream for podcast episodes. And that first episode after live stream will be my episode with Emily, where we talked about our movie soundtracks, which was a blast. You guys are not going to believe her top 5. Some of my patrons, like Chris Yaney and some others, may have actually tuned in to the live recording of that and heard some of her picks. But she really brought the pain with some of her picks on that one. So our favorite movie soundtracks will be when we pick back up on the main show. So I wanted to give that quick update. But I also, like I said, the main thing tonight, guys, is live stream for the Cure. So live stream, I'm going to share let me share the schedule because I was talking to Nick earlier. There's some comments going on everywhere. I'm not on Twitch anymore. I don't know if that's real, but Brad is saying that Nick is streaming me on his stream. I thought Nick was going to be done by 10, so I thought it was safe. He said he was going to watch me from the grocery store. Nick, if you're watching this, I love you. I can't wait to see you next week. I can't wait to help you put on the event. I can't wait to eat the food that you made and the Hefeweizen that you brewed. Nick made homemade beer for the event for me, him, and Dan, and Rebecca, and whoever else to enjoy. I can't wait for that. So if that's true, that's hilarious. So live stream for the Cure. I'm going to present. I'm still kind of learning what I'm doing here. Let's see here. We talked a little bit about this over on, there you go, over on Nick's stream too, but a stacked event. And now it starts the 18th. Officially at 2 p.m. There's going to be like a pre-show, kind of like kickoff, if you will, sometime between noon and 2 on what will be Thursday, the 18th. I arrive in Syracuse Wednesday night. Flight situation, it was the best time for me to arrive. I got a hotel room to make Nick's life easier. And then this guy who is, like I said, the man is going to come pick me up from the airport and then hang out with me at the hotel. So he's a great dude. And we'll probably do some planning and, just shooting the shit, have a couple beers and, just get ready for the event, enjoy each other's company. And then on Thursday, Dan flies in. I think Nick said like 10:30 in the morning. So we'll pick Dan up. Maybe I'm going to actually try to talk Nick into leaving Dan at the airport and just not having him there. But if Nick wants to, we'll pick him up at the airport and we'll bring him back to the event spot. And we'll be there no later than 2 p.m. on Thursday to get things going. But we'll do a little pre show once we get set up. And then you can see it goes all day Friday, all day Saturday. Now, this is the first year, I think, Nick can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first year that they took Sunday out of the mix. I'm almost positive every year that they've hit their goal has been well before Sunday, which has traditionally been the last day of the event. It's usually like a half day. Literally everybody's exhausted, not just Nick and us putting on the event, but people watching it. It's just like, oh my God, so much content, so many hours. So, and we always kind of hit our goal or at least get really, really close. So Nick said, all right, Sunday is a travel day, a day of rest, whatever. So we're not doing Sunday this year. That's the good news. The kind of bad news or challenging news, if you will, is that we're our loftiest goal to date is $25,000 for Cancer Research Institute. So that's our biggest goal that we've ever set for the event. But we're also kind of losing 5 or 6 hours on Sunday that we normally would have had content built in there. But I'm very, very confident in a lot of the creators that we have this year. Going through the schedule, and I'll just kind of browse through it a little bit so you guys can kind of see here in this column here where my mouse is, the content creators, the podcast that'll be on for Livestream for the Cure this year. So this starts, like I said, this is the pre-show. We'll basically come back from the hotel, get hooked up, shoot the shit, kind of get everybody ready, make sure everything works, all that kind of stuff. Sean Faust kicking off the event. He always brings his guitar, has great live music. Nick's going to be cooking at 3. He's only given himself an hour, which is going to be very interesting. So I assume I'll be in the big chair there, and he'll go upstairs and do the cooking, and he'll be on camera. I know he's got a pretty sweet setup there to kind of see what he's making. But yeah, let's just go through. I mean, you can see some of these names. Culture Shock, Being Bookish, What Were They Thinking? The Pint, Crit Show, Miserable Retail Slave is always fun with Randy and the guys. That's always a good one. In Session Film, one of my favorite podcasts. And I'm kind of hurt JD hasn't hit me up yet to be on this segment. I don't know. Maybe he's going to do it on a whim. But that's a great topic. He's doing the best films of the live stream for the Cure era, which is basically 2017 to present day. That's going to be great. I don't know who the hell this is. Never heard of these people. Cinema Guys. Somebody help me out over in the chat. Does anybody know? I think this might be the first thing they're doing. I've heard of 2B Tuesday and Apple Teeny. I think they're associated with them in some way. But anyway, kind of weird that Nick let these people on that nobody's heard of. But they'll be on at 11, the Cinema Guys. Let me go back over to the chats. Nick said all my info is wrong. Nick said stop being nice to him. 18th will be the best day. Tubi. Yeah. Oh, the Cinema Guys is here now. So do you guys know who that is? What's up, Cinema Guys? I'm kidding. I love the Cinema Guys. I love Brad. So he'll be essentially wrapping up the night, and then we'll have like a round table, creators on creators, and he's going to stick around for that as well. Brad will be there for that with me and Nick and anybody else that Nick gets to join us. And that's going to be cool because Nick wants us to kind of step out of character a little bit and just kind of like, be who we are outside of the podcast world and kind of talk about, I don't really know. I guess we're going to see what questions the chat has for us and then kind of like go around and discuss whatever those questions might be. Nick hasn't really told me because I thought maybe we were going to come up with questions for each other, but maybe we'll just defer to the chat. I'm sure it'll be a lively discussion over there with us to wrap out day 1 there. And then you can see as we get into Friday, Friday's usually a big day for donations as well as Saturday. And like I said, we really got to get in guys. We got to get big bucks flowing this year because we want to hit our goal as quickly as we can. That's what I love. Get the stress off the table and just have a good time hanging out with our friends and our creators that we invited on. But you can see what we have here. Game for a movie, the countdown. We know those guys doing a trivia game, which will be cool. Nerds in Texas. Steve and Izzy from Everything I Learned from Movies, two of my favorites. Cult Worthy. Oh, man. And then look at this right here. Caleb and Liz ruin sex for everyone is what the segment is being called. But my understanding is they're basically going to read excerpts from the 50 Shades of Grey books. And I will just tell you that Caleb came on my show. Hell, it's been almost 2 years now on my Patreon. And we covered the entire 50 Shades franchise, the 3 films. We reviewed them in depth. We gave it was like a breakdown. It was like intense. We watched him for that. So I know from that experience that Caleb is, I won't say a fan of 50 Shades, but he really kind of enjoys talking about it. So that's going to be exciting to see where that goes for sure. Make sure you tune in. When is that? 5 o'clock on Friday? Be there. Get out of work early if you're working a daytime job. Movie reviews and 20 Qs, of course. A lot of great shows here. We watched The Thing. We love Billy and the guys over there. Netflix and Swill, executive producer Dan Brennick, and Caleb will be. I got to watch this before the segment. I haven't seen this. Naked on Netflix. So anyone that wants to kind of be a part of the conversation, make sure you watch that apparently shitty movie on Netflix called Naked, starring Marlon Wayans. I think it stars Marlon Wayans because that's the one I voted for, and I'm pretty sure that was the right one. Ocho Duro, 2 Ps. Nobody cares about them. Although I am going to share this with you guys. Hang on. Stop sharing. Am I full screen again? Here I am. I'm going to share this with you guys, but I got to find it. Give me a second. I'll present. I won't be able to. Let me pull it up first, and then I'll share it. Give me 1 second. I actually made this in Canva, which is the what do you call it? Graphic software I've been using lately to do a lot of my episode art and stuff. So I'll share that with you guys to show you. But this is what the segment's going to be. Not that one, you idiot. I'm talking to myself, by the way. This one here. Can you guys see that? So there we go. So we're going to do I'm going to share that on social. So I just made that today, actually, tonight, like an hour ago. When Nick was talking earlier, I had him in my ear and I was making this graphic. But we're going to do our top 5 movies that feature either Ben Affleck or Matt Damon or both, because obviously they've done a few movies together. Clerks, anyone? Good Will Hunting, anyone? Air, has anyone seen Air? So they've done some stuff together, but also they have obviously their great resumes individually as well. So it can be either or. And I can't wait to lay in to Nick when he starts bringing up Batman versus Superman. Is that the one that he likes that is horrible? That's the one that he likes that nobody else likes, right? I think that's it. Well, Brad likes it. And Brad's going to be on this segment. So God help us all. That might get love, actually. I've invited Loy Sauce to come on that segment, and he is accepted. So Brian, the god of podcasting, Loy Sauce will be on there with us to talk about Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. So that's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to be my segment at 11 p.m. on Friday night. I'm going to have prizes. I've already found like this Ben Affleck kind of box set with, I think, 4 movies of his in there, and they're all pretty good, except Live by Night's in the set. So I know Nick's going to love that. But he directed that. It was directed pretty well, I think. But there's a Ben Affleck set, and then I'm going to give away a collector's edition of Good Will Hunting as well. So there'll be a lot of Blu-rays up for grabs during my segment. I think I'm going to do like a $10 or more donation. Each time you donate $10, you get an entry into the pot or raffle, if you will. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Now, all this, and I'm going to go back to the schedule to look at Saturday. All this that I'm talking about, go to livestreamforthecure.com. And if you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching this in the future, the link is below in the description of this video. Livestreamforthecure.com will have all the links. You can watch the event on Twitch all weekend long. May 18th is when it starts. But Nick is also using Restream this year. Nick, correct me if I'm wrong. I think I'm saying that right, but he's doing Restream, which will also broadcast to other platforms. So you'll be able to watch it from multiple social media platforms. I don't know if YouTube's in the mix because a lot of people watching this will be watching it on YouTube. I mean, this stream that I'm talking on right now. But if YouTube's in the mix, that'll be on there. I know he's been streaming to Facebook lately, obviously Twitch. So just go to livestreamforthecure.com and be ready. But I can assure you there'll be lots of prizes given away, not just from Nick, but from a lot of the creators that are involved this weekend, myself included. And I can't wait to discuss the movies of Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. I kind of already have my list mentally. I'm kind of ready. Like I definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, know what my number one is. No question. What the hell is going on over here? People are yelling at me. I see a lot of caps, letters, and a lot of exclamation points. What is this? Okay, so Nick says, don't forget the May 17th pre-show. Oh yeah, but am I a part of that? I don't think I'm about to work. So, but he's doing a pre-show where we snuggle at the airport. Yeah. We're gonna live stream our cuddle session, which is could possibly raise the most money of the entire event. Let's be honest. But yes, we'll be doing that Wednesday. Gerald, we can watch it. Oh yeah, you want to? You want to? We can do that. We can watch Naked at the hotel, but let me know if you're serious because I don't know if you remember a couple years ago, Nick, but we didn't watch the movie that Dan was discussing, and we had to like watch. Or no, it was a Julio, and we had to watch Sliver. Remember? Like during the event, we were watching Sliver for Julio segment. And I like couldn't focus on it. I mean, I'd seen it before, but I was like trying to be. So let's make sure that's real. But if you want me to wait for you, then I will wait for you and we'll watch it at the hotel. We can watch it naked while naked. Absolutely. Air starts streaming on Friday. I recommend everyone watch it. I really dug it. It's one of my favorite movies of the year so far. Ben Affleck is such a good director, and this was a great. The acting in this film came from Matt Damon, and the text and the direction came from Ben Affleck. And when they get together and they do the best of both worlds, it's just phenomenal. It was good stuff. If you have any interest in like the NBA or Michael Jordan or just this like kind of culture that exists now with shoes and merchandising and marketing, and it all really started with the Air Jordans. It's crazy. I mean, a shoe that was dedicated to basketball has kind of created this like kind of culture that wasn't even a thing in the 80s. Like people weren't even thinking about it. And Michael Jordan's mom really kind of changed the game, if you will. BVS, I'm going to have to do a lot of like pushback on the episode. I can see Team America classic. I see I was ignoring the chat, Brad. We don't know. Good one. I don't know what Nick is serious about. He says, why so serious? He says he likes shoes. All right, that's fine. Let me go back and share the schedule. Schedule. That's a weird word to say. I got to do that, though. Let me go back so we can look at Saturdays. So that'll be my segment. A lot of prizes go away, a lot of movies. We got a Ben Affleck box set. We got the Good Will Hunting Blu-ray Collector's Edition. And me on camera talking to these guys about why Batman versus Superman is not good. So it could be a good time. Let me go back over to the schedule. All right, make sure you guys can see that. Yes, you can. All right, so that's that. And then Two Girls on a Bench are going to come on after me and wrap up the night. Friday, late midnight spot there. And then as we get into Saturday, which is the last day of the event, M will be there. Joey and So Wizard will be there. Ashley, kind of semi coming out of retirement. It's been a while since we heard her. She'll be on with Nick, I assume, doing Better Call Saul. Our peeps over the Contrarians we were just talking about. I'm not sure what they're covering this year. I don't know if Nick's still here, if he knows, or if we're not supposed to know, but it's not listed here. I don't know if I'm a part of it, but I don't know what movie they're covering this year or what we're going to be talking about. Dissect That Film. Brett, who runs that podcast, is a patron of my show. He's a great dude. And I know this is his first year being involved in the event. I just had his co hosts on my podcast. We did a top 5 movies based on video games, which was a bit of a stretch to come up with 5, but we did. I didn't know why that pool was so shallow. Last Comic Shop, Oz9, Ink and Ash. Guys, get ready for that voice, the Velvet Drizzle. Man, I get so excited just thinking about it. The countdown's wrapping us up with Would You Rather, the last segment on Saturday, the last segment of the event. And a little surprise here right before that. They're going to be talking about Death Wish 4, I just learned recently. So we'll see how that goes down. But a lot of fun, a lot of great, as you can see, podcasters, content creators that will be there doing what they do. I'm really looking forward to it. I love being a part of this event every year. It really gets me excited about, podcasting, but just the camaraderie and the relationships that we've formed over the years. And it's such a good cause. And what happened with my grandmother last year, and I lost her to cancer. And it just is this very special event. And I know there's people even in the chat right now who are being touched by this. And it's literally one of the worst things in the world is cancer. And just this little thing that we can do to try to make a difference. And I love being a part of it. So Livestream for thecure.com. I know a lot of people will be watching this in the future on YouTube. Look down in the description. There is a link down there. But it's going to be May 18th through the 20th, right? Or 21st. That weekend, basically. And you can donate early if you want. You can get merch. All the links are on that link that I'm giving you in the description. And everything helps go towards the cause. Our goal this year is $25,000. But please look it up and be a part of the event. All righty. That's the live stream for the cure. And what am I at? 23 minutes. I only wanted to go about a half hour night, so I'll make this quick. Over in the chat, who saw this? Who saw Guardians of the Galaxy 3? Anybody seen it? I got things to say. It's going to be unpopular. I'm just going to tell you right now. Okay. The first question is, has anyone seen it? That's the first question. And again, people may comment in the future or whatever. Is Marvel fatigue, or as an extension, comic book movie fatigue, a real thing? That's an actual thing, because I was saying it, a year ago. Like, I'm kind of over the, and people would come at me. Like, our friend Julio freaking loves the Marvel. It's great. Anybody that loves it, great, good on you. I think it's awesome. Please be entertained. That's the point. And obviously, people, they make millions of dollars. People love it. I'm not going to spoil it, Brad. I'm not going to say anything related to the plot of the movie. I'm just talking generally speaking. Are we kind of over it as a society? Now, why I kind of get upset about it is because I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and it was like an event when a comic book related story came out or a movie about superheroes. Like, it was like 10 years between movies. It was crazy. And now it's like every week there's a movie coming out. It's just getting to be a bit much. It's a little too much, in my opinion. You got the TV shows. I don't know. I just wonder what you guys think, because I'm not going to spoil Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And I did think it was a good movie, but I guess the difference for me personally is that I'm not as excited about it leading up to it now. So if I go see the movie and I like enjoy it, then I'm like, oh, okay. I was pleasantly surprised or whatever. But I'm not like rushing to see it. I'm not in line to buy my tickets. I'm just kind of, Yeah, okay, sure, it was okay. Now my son, who's almost 10, really liked it. He really enjoyed it. He was soaking it up. It was emotional. He was into it. I could see, he was getting into it. But I just can't get excited for it anymore. I really can't. Now, with that being said, I liked it. I do recommend it. I think it was a good film. I think it's one of the better MCU movies as of late in the last couple years. I've always been somewhat prone to the Guardians of the Galaxy. I think it's a cool group of people and things and whatever. It's interesting in that way. And this is right here. That is accurate. The music in these movies is freaking killer. In fact, we talked about that on our soundtracks episode. Yanni, I don't know if you heard, but I don't know. I'm just not excited for him anymore. I mean, I get it, and it's going to make millions of dollars, and like everybody's going to go see it, and like what, sure, it's great. But I'm just not as thrilled about this genre as I was like even 5 years ago. And that's sad, but I think it's oversaturation. The same thing could be said for Star Wars, maybe, where it's like we didn't get them. I mean, in the 90s, we didn't get anything, right? I mean, in the 2000s, the prequels start coming out, and even they're spaced out by years between them. I mean, the TV shows and stuff weren't an issue back then. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm in the minority, but I just don't get as excited for it anymore. With that being said, I thought it was good. And if you aren't overcome with that fatigue, then you should check it out. I did a little reaction video on my YouTube. You guys can look that up with my son, actually, when we came out of the theater. And like I said, he really liked it. And it is a good film. It's too long. There's no reason it should be 2.5 hours. Uh, but it is. So here we are. So that's basically it. That's really the only things I want to talk about tonight, guys. Once again, don't forget live stream for The Cure. The pre-show is next Wednesday, the 17th. The kickoff is Thursday, the 18th. It basically goes Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all 3 days, all day long. Me, my buddy Dan, and Nick will be on site in New York hosting the event. All the wonderful content creators and podcasters I shared with you guys earlier. Check the notes in the description. Go to livestreamforthecure.com. You can see all the links there, all the different ways you can watch. You can buy merch. You can donate early. You can tune in and donate during the event. There'll be all kinds of prizes for those donating. It's going to be great. It's for a great cause, Cancer Research Institute. Make sure you guys tune in for that. And any other, let's see what we got over here. What the fuck do I want? Language. Look at this guy. Wow, he's bringing F-bombs to the stream. You're tuning in at the very end, Dan, but I was just singing your praises prior to you tuning in to cuss me out in the chat. But I'm just telling everybody about live stream for The Cure and how we're hopefully going to leave you at the airport on Thursday when we leave Syracuse. Stay tuned. All right, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into this live stream for thecure.com down below in the description. Make sure you head over there, and we hope to see you next weekend to help crush cancer. Thank you guys for tuning into the stream. I'll see you next weekend.